I can see how that mindset is somewhat prevalent today because people are like, you've always got to be working. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Everything should be going towards work and being as productive as possible. Downtime is wasted time. Probably people try to project that in their like social media or just like in their personality or whatever, that they're just like always working. They're like, I'm a machine. I don't have these human needs of yours, you know? But I mean, you definitely do. How you been? You've been freaking loving Zoom lately.
Yeah, this is like, what did I say? Hour 6 of Zoom.
Yeah.
Basically in a row. I had like a 30-minute break there at one point, and then like
Eat
10 or
food so you
20
don't die.
before. Yeah, I like scoffed down a banana before this call.
That's quite the verbiage for a banana.
It is, yeah, but it was basically just all up in there.
Takes you 30 minutes to eat a banana?
That was like 5 or 10 seconds. I think I was done in 3 bites.
Nice.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know? It's what you got to do.
Sounds pretty fun.
Sometimes it's fun, but sometimes it's a lot.
No, I definitely could sit in front of Zoom for multiple hours.
But yeah, I think that feeling of overwhelmed of I have so much damn stuff going on is partly what led me to want to talk about extracurriculars today.
I am on board. I'm someone who has enjoyed in the past too many extracurriculars, but obviously now very few, which is just throwing them out for me.
Yeah, I think half of it is feeling very busy or overwhelmed, like I'm constantly working all the time. But also, I think that a couple of things have really changed my view on what the point is of an extracurricular.
Yeah. Okay.
Recently. And that's partly responsible for the course, the Science of Wellbeing, and partly the Design Your Life book.
Oh, wait. Teaser for the upcoming books podcast. It's like either the next one or the one after.
Ooh,
We're going to talk about
very
books.
true. Very true.
Anyway, continue.
Quick teaser for the course podcasts that we're going to have in the future coming up. Man, so many teasers. You guys have just been teased
just
a lot
mercilessly
right now. Yeah. I kid. I love you guys. Please support us on Patreon. You're the best.
Please do, but I don't love you guys. Sorry.
Oh,
I know you well enough.
There you go. Specifically Sengi.
What? No. Shout out. Ooh. Anyway, you were talking about the meaning of extracurriculars to you and how that's changed recently, like what an extracurricular should be due to the course and the book you were reading.
Man, quick side tangent. Sometimes with these episodes, I feel like a bit of a hypocrite. Like we just had this whole episode on sleep, and I only got like 6 hours last night.
Do as we say, not as we do.
That's very true, yeah.
Easiest rule of life. Do as I say, not as I do.
The one thing that I do take some solace in is that we're trying to get better, and that these podcasts serve as resources that you can come and try and take a few tips from. And I have actually legitimately gone back and listened to our podcasts to try and figure out how to do stuff better.
Really?
Yeah. So like you can always just go back and say you want to figure out more about exercising. Go back and do the exercising one. You're thinking about doing meditation, go back and check out our meditation episode.
It's true. That is actually a good strategy. I haven't gone back and listened, but I have definitely taken a lot of stuff we've talked about. Like, for instance, the one that's definitely made a huge difference was the 8-hour workday thing with school, which is just like finish 8 hours after you start, have a dedicated time for school, and then you do all your other stuff afterwards. That's quite nice.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that's probably one of the best points we've come up with so far, because I was talking to a listener the other day, and they said that was like their favorite episode and that they were trying to implement that strategy as well. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because it's like, it's probably just because it's so useful. It reduces stress a lot and it makes you very productive. And it's so clear cut. It's not like, oh, make sure you exercise every day. If you say something like that, well, it's like, well, how much? Like, you know, like what? But it's just like, work on school for 8 hours a day, finish 8 hours after you start. Boom. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. You say that, but I still struggle with it.
Hey, it's easy to understand.
That's true. I think my issue is that I have other things that I consider work and that I'll sometimes prioritize over doing school stuff. So it's like what counts as inside of that 8-hour bubble and what doesn't. So there's things like working on this podcast, which I'll do a lot. There's like Toastmasters things that I have to do a lot, which includes things like going to meetings, which happen in the evening most of the time. So if I consider that work, then where the hell is my 8-hour window? If it's starting at 6 p.m. or something.
Wait, if it's starting at 6 p.m.?
Sorry, if the Toastmasters meeting is starting at 6 p.m. and I wanted to include that in my work, like...
Well, it sounds like you need to start 8 hours before you foresee it finishing.
I guess, yeah. But I kind of want to work when I get up in the morning.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's like the best time, at least for me.
It's just a strategy.
Yeah, no, that's very true. For people who are like, my sole priority right now is school, or that is like by far and away the main one, perfect. And I do want to get there at some point. I've been realizing that I haven't been there for too long.
Yeah. I found it worked well for me because I do extracurriculars, but they're all pretty much sports. There's nothing that would require me to do work at home for. I would just be like, go do your sport, or like I was in a cooking class thing. So it's like you just go do that. You don't need to prepare anything. You just go do it. So like it doesn't take any of your time. So the only thing that actually takes time at home is school.
But coming back to extracurriculars,
yeah,
the shift in my mindset about them that has recently occurred is that I used to think about them in the framework of what is the point? What am I going to be able to put on my resume from this? Why am I doing this? What am I getting out of this? Is this propelling me forward in some way? But recently I've realized a few things about like how energy works and engagement. You need things that actually energize you in your day and excite you.
You need things that you're driven to do because for the sake of doing them. Is that what you mean?
That should definitely be included, but I think I'm specifically saying energy positive tasks or activities.
That sounds like some celestial shit right now. You're going to need to elaborate.
All right, let's go into it. So the idea or the concept is that energy isn't just like a battery that you have a certain amount of and then it gets depleted every time you do literally anything throughout the day.
Yeah.
There are things that you can do that will really drain you, and there are things that you will do that once you start doing them, your energy goes right up.
Like sleeping.
That's true. Sleeping does that a lot. But I think more psychologically.
Completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I would say, hardcore yes.
I think that's half of the shift, in my opinion, that's a necessary part or something that you should consider with the extracurriculars is what effect they have on your energy and do you enjoy them or not. The other aspect is that one of the things I'm learning in the Science of Wellbeing course is that social connections are something that is important for your happiness.
Holy, you don't say.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's obvious to other people, but...
You can't just be by yourself forever.
Yeah, or like your acquaintances can't just be utilitarian. It's like, what is this relationship for?
Oh, yeah.
Which is a significant shift in how I think about things. So it's the idea that the things that you want to be doing should energize you, and that you should also be getting some social connection out of them.
Okay, I see that. I can see that. So are there any extracurriculars that you were doing or are doing now that you, after that point in the course, you're just like, shit, I got to stop doing this?
I got to say, I really need to tone down the Toastmasters.
I mean, yeah, you're like the current oligarch or whatever.
I run like half of the school clubs in Toronto, I swear.
You're the Toronto Toast Czar.
Essentially, yeah, that's what it feels like some days. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it for the sake of it when I first started out, and it was a lot of fun for the first few months. But then once I got one exec position and another one, and then a club coach position, the meetings are more so just stressful. I'm not able to actually like enjoy myself, and it's a real drain on the energy, just overall.
I can see that. That's similar to in Scouts. I did Scouts for 10 years of my life. 3 years Beavers, 3 years Cubs, 3 years Scouts. and then 1 year of ventures. But with ventures, that was the first year when we actually had to completely plan all our own shit. We all had roles. We had to deal with like our budget and stuff. I used to love like scouts and stuff because it was once a week you just get together and do like wood carving and then like play manhunt or some shit or soccer or something. And then every other weekend you'd go camping. And so I'm like, this is sick. This is such a fun time. But then in ventures, that's the first year when, yeah, you have to plan everything yourself, like all you guys together, which makes sense because you're like, what, like 15 or 16 at the start of it. So it's like, makes sense that you plan it yourself. And then you like have to manage your own budget and whatever. So that's pretty much the whole meeting is just dealing with these like orders of business. And then that's it. Like those are every week. And then once every like month-ish, you'll go do your outing, like your camping or whatever that you plan. That's why I stopped doing it. Stopped doing scouting at the venture level, because then the energy drain to payoff slope was way too steep. So I get what you're saying with the drain versus like interaction fun times.
And it's just kind of stressful to be responsible for everything. It's like, all right, are you all having fun?
Yeah.
Tell me you're having fun, please. This is a lot of work.
So help me.
I swear to God, if you're not having fun right now, I will literally murder everyone in this call.
Kick your ass. Yeah, that doesn't sound that fun.
Yeah.
For you.
Which has resulted in a combination of either me being really stressed out and putting in a lot of work, or me putting in pretty much no effort. Like one of my clubs I just have not been able to bother with.
Well, once I reached working age, which was about grade 10, all my extracurriculars pretty much are for fun only. Like they've pretty much just been sports and cooking class, because I was like, I'm not going to put money in if you're not paying me, or if it will not lead to, like, for instance, I put work in university because I'm like, that degree in the future is going to make me earn more money. So I'll put a lot of work in, and then like I'll put work in my job because they're paying me. Being like a Toastmasters exec, I would never have the motivation to do, because I'm like, I'm not doing this for free. This is like work.
Yeah, it seriously is.
So I guess I'll just put work in either if they're paying me or if I'm paying them massive amounts of money.
Like this podcast.
Nah, this is fun.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I still kind of classify it as work because there's a lot of effort to be put in, but I don't want to make sure I like make it good. But
in my brain, it doesn't classify as work. In my brain, it's just in the same box as having drinks on a Zoom call, because that's what we're doing. So, and trying to be well-spoken throughout.
Yeah, no, I still feel like this definitely isn't like the same level of Toastmasters where I'm just...
I should hope not.
Yeah, God, no, not even slightly. Because this is...
No pressure.
This is so much fun. I mean, I do feel like a little bit of pressure to come up with engaging topics and add value to people's lives, at least a little bit. You know, you want to create a good product.
I thought that was just from our magnetic personalities.
That's true, that too. And then editing can get a little tedious at times.
How long does it take to like put together one podcast?
What, like from idea to finish, or just the editing?
No, like after we've recorded
it. 4 to 6 hours maybe usually.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
It is, yeah. I've gotten it down, I think, because I'm getting like pretty good at just going through really quickly. Like I have to keep reminding myself during this call to actually pay attention to what you're saying and not just start mentally cutting out bits of your speech. It's like, he said, there. He repeated himself there.
Social interactions are not utilitarian.
Man, I'm trying. I'm learning.
I never repeat myself. I don't know what you're talking about.
That is false.
I've never said the same thing in 2 podcasts. Ever.
No, I mean, you'll start a sentence and then start it again and then actually say your sentence.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I got to put the work in to make us sound articulate and well-spoken.
I got so many thoughts in this massive brain.
You're just stumbling over yourself trying to get them all out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did actually notice in the quick bit of searching, I always want to say Googling, but that's incorrect. DuckDuckGoing.
DuckDuckGoing, of course. Yahooing?
No.
I keep forgetting, but I lost a bet once that for the rest of my life I would have to say Yahooing. Wait, it is Yahoo.
Okay.
That's the other one, right? No, Binging.
That's one of them.
Binging.
Can you not search on Yahoo?
You can, I think, but yeah, it's Bing that was.
Yeah, Bing is second
Yeah,
one, I think.
that was the subject of the bet that I lost, and so for the rest of my life, I have to say I Binged it instead of I Googled it. But I keep forgetting. But if I ever say Googled it, just remind me that I actually Binged it. Wholly off topic.
Yeah, so we're talking about extracurriculars and energy levels. For everybody who is not in either of our situations, there are exceptions to that where you need extracurriculars, it seems, as a resume booster.
Yeah.
Like I tried searching up what clubs should I join in university, and almost all the results were what clubs should I do in high school to get into a good university.
Huh.
And people were recommending you join like
High-
6 to 9 clubs.
What? I did. I mean, I guess sports, but that's it.
Apparently, to get into really top US schools, you need some really good extracurriculars.
I had extracurriculars, but they were like none of them came from school clubs besides sports, I guess.
I mean, I think that also might be like private school overachievers kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trying to get into the absolute best schools in the world, but
Because I guess it's all these things like, oh, I was in the Model UN.
yeah, exactly. I was in student government. I volunteered in my community. I was a captain on a team. I was this or that.
I do not understand the concept of why you would want to do student government. Like, why would you want to do that?
I think it just goes on the resume. I don't know.
I think. But that's only impressive until you get like 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And then, because like cashier, snow shoveler, boom, it's gone.
Yeah, no. I might keep it on there.
Huh.
I mean, depends on how much space you have and how much space all of them are taking up. You can fit at least 3 things on a resume.
Because I feel like once you graduate high school, I feel like it would be a little weird to have student government on your resume in high school.
Very true. Well,
Yeah.
really anything from before university, you should try to replace as soon as possible.
Yeah, I have one job that I did during high school just because I have like 3 or 4 jobs on it. So like my last one was during high school.
Yeah. Even then, you want to try and replace that, ideally with a new job as soon as you can.
That requires some qualification at all.
Yeah, ideally.
Yeah.
Though
Makes
just
sense.
any work experience is pretty good.
Yeah.
So apparently there are situations where you legit just need these resume boosting extracurriculars, at least to get to the next level.
I'm glad I'm not in those situations because all those things don't sound that fun. Like I had extracurriculars like jobs on the side and like helping out people in the community and like church youth group and stuff like that. But it was still either paid or fun. A youth group leader might not seem immediately fun, but also the other leaders were like almost exclusively my friends from school, and we were on the skit team. So we would just goof around for like an hour and a half, and then in the last half hour, just perform a skit that takes about 5 minutes to memorize and takes about 15 minutes to perform. So, and then it was also like hundreds of volunteer hours because I did it for years.
Yeah, that's not bad. But yeah, I think moving forward, I do want to try and have extracurricular type things, but I need to find more just chill enjoyment kind of extracurriculars
Yeah.
or low commitment things
Yeah.
rather than like leadership positions or exclusively like skill building clubs or whatnot.
You should get back into hockey. Yeah, that was a very fun extracurricular I got into in the past few years. Getting back into hockey.
I'm tempted by like table tennis or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just sports.
seems chill.
Just intramural sports in general are a good time because it's like the absolute lowest commitment possible. It's like an hour a week doing a fun thing, and unless you're the captain, that's literally all that's required of you. Just show up for an hour in a week and play this fun sport, and that's it. Sometimes twice a week if it's getting crazy.
Yeah, which seems so good because it gets you active, which is awesome, and it gets you social, which is also awesome. That's true. Yeah,
It's not very active at all. But
I don't know how we'd make it active, but
yeah, I'm actually. You can't see, but I'm actually doing jumping jacks right now.
oh shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here at my treadmill desk.
But they have at school, they have in the gym a treadmill desk. I feel like I would not be able to get a single thing done on that because one, I feel like I can't like do that while I'm walking, like write and stuff. And two, it's in a gym, like blasting trap music and people deadlifting like 600 pounds right behind you.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that would not be super conducive to productivity.
I think there's one at Humber just outside of a computer lab in like a kind of cafeteria area.
Yeah, not the best place.
Yeah, no.
Outside of complete computer lab, yes. By a cafeteria, no. This has been a very tangential episode.
Very, yeah. What other kind of extracurriculars are good or are out there?
List all the ones you do now.
Toastmasters, Toastmasters, Toastmasters.
I see.
Well, there's a
Wait,
podcast.
what about Toastmasters?
Honestly, you could probably throw a fourth one in there somehow.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's another responsibility I'm taking on.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess kind of, yeah, because I have to train all the damn people right now. I guess there's this podcast. I do this outside of school.
Fair enough.
Well, there's school itself.
That's not an extracurricular. That's a curricular.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in my life. Like,
That's the most curricular.
I don't know that I do much else.
Sounds like Toastmasters is taking a lot of your time.
It is, yeah. It's legitimately a part-time job.
That you do for free.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the extracurriculars that I could never get into. Shout out to my old roommate.
Mm-hmm.
You know him. I'm not going to name him because I don't know if he wants that. That's kind of awkward. But if he's listening, hello. But yeah, he was busiest man ever. He was like an organizer for a hackathon. He worked both weekend days when he wasn't doing school. He was like part of a Christian organization that would like plan events and stuff. Busiest dude. He loved it though.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Sometimes he would sleep at odd times, so I think it was pretty draining, but they were all things he was interested in. So one of them was a literal job, but the other two were like jobs that he just did for free. I could absolutely never do that. I'm not going to put my own non-fun time into it unless you're like paying me or I'm paying you thousands of dollars to let me do that. So you're doing, Toastmasters, this podcast, and school. Those are your commitments. And I see why those might be more draining. Because I don't get drained by my extracurriculars right now at all.
Mhm.
Because, I've got school, obviously. My other things that I do right now are just hockey and ultimate, which are fun times. I'm not like the captain or anything, so I don't have to organize anything.
Mm-hmm.
And cooking club, which is just like once every few weeks or like once a month. They'll just like send you a notification of an optional cooking class you can attend. I sometimes do. They're pretty fun. And it's just you pay $10 at the class and then you make the full meal and eat it. And it's like a full course meal.
Decent, actually. That's very good.
And so all those I enjoy means I specifically look for extracurriculars that require absolutely no commitment outside of the time when I'm actually doing the fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing stuff if you don't pay me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, in high school though, I did for a brief time have that issue where I was doing, I guess it was like grade 9, I think it was, where I was doing sports in school, like probably like 2 sports leagues. And then I also did scouts. And then I was also a tutor on the side, which did pay, but it wasn't still another commitment. And then I also had a part-time job walking dogs for like an hour and a bit twice a week. So I remember at that point I was like, this is a bit much. I would do a full day of school and then I would always have stuff afterwards until like dinner time sometime after. So I was just like, I need time to chill in the day. Yeah, since then I've just sort of like always only done stuff that's fun.
Yeah, I think that is very good.
This course sounds quite something if it's making you rethink your whole scheme of extracurriculars.
Yeah, I think that specific part is really mostly like a me problem. I didn't think you would be 100% able to relate with the idea of thinking of social connections as purely utilitarian and that like it could just provide innate happiness.
Yeah.
That's somewhat of a new one for me. Like it's obvious in hindsight, but I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, you're like, wait, chilling with the boys is actually good for me? What?
Yeah, I think that explains a lot. I always got super anxious about having friends because they would take up time.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Especially in late high school, I really got bad with it.
I
Just
see.
because I was like, all right, I need all the time so I can make sure that I do really well in school.
You did do really well in school, but I can see how that mindset is somewhat prevalent today because people are like, you've always got to be working 24/7. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Everything should be going towards work and being as productive as possible. Like, downtime is wasted time and stuff. I see that like a lot. Probably people try to project that in their like social media or just like in their personality or whatever, that they're just like always working. They're like, I'm a machine. I don't have these human needs of yours, you know? But I mean, you definitely do. I'm also quite pleased that I could make the cut for all these years. That's a resume booster for me. But, you know, you're still quite young. You're still 20.
That's true. Yeah.
You're, according to the average, 1/4, but according to optimism, not even a fifth of the way through life. So,
There you go. Yeah. That's a thought.
I mean, personally, I plan on living well past 100.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Had a great aunt who lived to 105, and she stayed at our house.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was about 6 years old. She was 100,
Mm-hmm.
and she slept in one day when she was there, and it was like she usually woke up at like 7, and it was like 11:30, and my mom was like, she was like, I don't want to wake her up because she's old, you know, she's 100, but I'm really worried she's dead. And I don't want to have to deal with that. And then she just woke up at 11:30. She's like, "Oh my, it's late. I can't believe I slept in this much." But I plan on being old enough that if I sleep in, people are worried I've just passed on in my sleep.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a life well lived. The other mindset I've struggled with is just wanting to do all the things.
Yeah.
Like the other day, for an hour or so, I just got this really sudden and very passionate urge to go back and finish that damn engineering degree, just out of a pure like hatred. Like, F- you, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna prove it. I didn't drop out. I'm smart enough. I could do this.
Yeah.
But then within a couple hours, I was like, man, that's another 2 years of miserable shit. I just don't want to.
That was a similar idea to why I went into Waterloo physics, because I do like math and I was always good at math and physics in high school. But when I was in high school, I was much more just like, what's like some really smart shit? Physics degree, that's some smart shit. Okay,
Yeah.
what's a really good school? Waterloo, that's a good school. Okay, I'll do physics at Waterloo. Boom. And then I got into it and I'm doing it. I'm like, I can do this. I'm passing my courses. But this is boring as hell. Like I don't wanna work at a computer in the lab all day. Like I
Mhm.
wanna see the sun and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, and then that sounds like a similar thing with your degree. You're just like, you're like, I can do aerospace engineering. So like that's quite something. So I'll do it. Boom. And then you're
Mhm.
like, but I don't really want to do this. I'm pretty certain the kind of work I want to do.
What do you
And
want to do? I actually don't know.
so I want to work with wildlife or plants,
Mhm.
and I want to work at least mostly outside.
Hmm.
And I've narrowed it down to that. The work I'm doing this summer, this is a good trial run because this is the first job I've had that's actually like that. If I keep going and, get a master's in environmental science or whatever,
Mhm.
it would be work a lot like this. I mean, right now it's taking samples of mosquitoes and going around to different sites, hopping in some ponds. And I predict I will like that. So just more stuff like that. Maybe working with the government, just like monitoring populations of animals or plants or something like that. And so I'm hoping I enjoy this job. And I can't imagine I'll hate it. So,
Yeah, that sounds pretty chill.
and so I just got to that because I'm like, I was in first semester physics and I was like, this is kind of whack. I don't want to work with all these people in this, and I don't want to work in a lab all day because I was like, I'm freaking crammed in this classroom and at this desk and in this laboratory for like most of my waking hours. I want to like be outside. And then I'm like, well, that's not going to get better as I get this degree and then get a job, that's going to get worse actually. So I'm like, what's something I can do that can allow me to be where I want to be, which is like outdoors with some plants and animals and stuff for most of my hours of the day. And I'm like, oh, environmental. Like I looked at jobs specifically, and then I found this online application that could trace jobs backwards to the degree you need.
Mm.
And most of the ones I was interested in said environmental science.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, boom, ecology. And I chose ecology because plants and animals are more interesting than rocks, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah. That's not even an opinion. That's just a fact.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just sort of worked where I want to be, and then went backwards. So where do you want to be?
Man, to answer honestly and with like enough context, that does lead me on like a mild side tangent of a frustration of mine is that my convictions or my goals in life can wildly change just depending on what kind of content I'm consuming.
Yeah.
Like I'll just see a YouTube video and I'll say, yeah, I could do that. And I'll see a TV show. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. I could do whatever they're doing. And it's just like this idea that like whatever they're doing, I want to do that.
Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. It's funny because when I decided I want to go to environmental science, I was reading The Secret Life of Trees by a German silviculturist who is like super into trees. Good book, pretty weird.
Yeah, actually, that sounded interesting. I saw it on Amazon the other day.
Like I did all this stuff like tracing backwards, and I'm like, I really hope I'm not just like too into this book, and then like 2 months down the line, I'm gonna be like, what am I doing? But so far, it has not happened. But probably one way to get around that would be to do another 1 month social media reduction or whatever.
Way ahead of you, bud. Way
Oh,
ahead
you're
of
doing
you.
it now?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm in the middle of one.
shit.
Actually, I haven't deleted them from my phone. I should do that.
When I did it for Lent, I didn't delete them. I just moved them. You know, I have two like home screen pages. I just moved them to a third one in their own folder titled Lent.
Oh, I guess if you use the home screens. My phone doesn't work like that.
Oh, do you have a Windows phone?
No, I just have a custom launcher on the phone.
Of course.
Dude, it's so good. It's one that's designed to eliminate distractions. It's great.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
I'll put some screenshots in the show notes because it's so cool.
That's your home screen?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I know,
How'd
right?
you do that? I like that.
It's so good. I think it's called Indistractable. You can just install it.
Huh.
That's the great thing about Android, man. You can install whatever the hell you want.
True. But yeah, how long have you been social media reducing?
I'm going to say like 4 or 5 days, maybe.
Okay, and how's it going?
I feel like a productivity god to a certain extent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how
It's
it goes.
just legitimately, I've basically just blocked YouTube on the computer. That's essentially all I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making a world of difference. Oh, that, and I also implemented a new productivity system that involves putting a daily page on a clipboard.
Okay.
And that combination is great because normally I'd get to a certain point in the day and I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to watch some YouTube. But now I've got this planner that has a couple ideas of things that I could be doing that are mildly more productive. I still feel like I'm working too much and I need to find ways to chill, but like, I think it's
shorter
better.
list.
That's true. Yeah, cool. I don't plan on accomplishing everything on the list other than like the main ones. I usually just do the main ones and then like 2 or 3 others.
I do the same thing actually. It's on my phone. I have a notepad that's like, I'm not really doing it now because I've finished school. So I start work on May 25th. So I'm just kind of chilling. Just focusing on languages and stuff. But I have the same thing where it's like an overall list of stuff I have to do like somewhat soon. And then I have stuff I'm going to do today. And then I have to check the ones off today. But like the other stuff, I don't necessarily have to do if I don't have time. It's just if it's within the 8 hours of work and I've only worked for like 3 hours and I'm like, what do I do now? Then I'll just do one of the other things. But yeah, I totally get that YouTube thing with the feeling so productive because I said this before, but I don't repeat myself. But I said this before that when I gave up YouTube, every time I wanted to do YouTube, I would just do Duolingo. That
Mhm.
like you feel so freaking productive. You're like watching an accent breakdown. I don't need that. I'm learning languages, my guy. Like I'm so smart.
Exactly, yeah. Which is so good.
Yeah.
Much better.
hmm Although Duolingo is questionable at times.
Yeah.
Yesterday there was one bit where I forget what the heading was for the lesson, but it's like translate this sentence. Defense and man meren kniv bakom den garden.
This is a
It was like
man doing some gardening?
no. That was it's like please translate this, and I'm like, are you high, Duolingo? Because the translation of that is there is a man with a knife behind the curtain. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? What? Defensen man med en kniv bakom den garden. I'm like, nej snälla. And another one was min mamma tycker inte om det du äter myran, which is my mother does not like that you eat ants. Like I feel like Duolingo's on crack sometimes. Like what the hell kind of sentence is that? Min mamma tycker inte om that du äter myran. So that's weird. I don't know why
Okay.
it was saying that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is why Duolingo has the reputation of murdering your family.
Yeah, exactly. Die finns en man bakom den garden.
That's so goddamn sketch. Goddamn.
I know. I actually was like kind of spooked writing it out. I'm like, oh, this curtain's in my room.
You
Duo
gotta
the
check
owl,
that.
is that you?
If it had said there's an owl behind the curtain with a
Oh
knife.
God, with a knife. He's got a knife. But yeah, back on that, you do feel very productive giving up social media, specifically YouTube, and replacing it with something else.
Yeah, very much so.
Weirdly, during Lent, I took up playing some like mobile games. Like I re-downloaded Hue or something. It's just like a color puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And even that, like when I wanted to chill, I would just play that sometimes. I still felt like it was way less compulsive than YouTube. I don't know why, but maybe just because it's a puzzle, so it's actually like challenging you instead of just mindlessly just like shoving content into your face.
Yeah, that's true. At least that's active, which I think is probably better.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, even I don't know why, but that felt more productive than YouTube when I was just like laying down and chilling. Probably because I used less of it.
But yeah, no, I think that'll definitely help with the trying to figure out what I actually want to do because, man, that has a big influence on it, unfortunately.
So see what you're feeling at the end of however long, like a month.
Yeah, probably. I've got it set to go up until mid-May, like the day when I start school. But as of right
you're doing
now,
summer term?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I as of right now, I'm expecting it to continue past then. Like I'll extend it out because so far it's been pretty good.
Okay.
I'll
Cool.
just upload videos on my laptop or something. I don't know when I have to use YouTube.
But yeah, so I guess just start with like where you want to be towards the end of that period.
I want to be able to spend the day thinking big thoughts, you know, and not having to like talk too much to people.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Same here. Like I couldn't do meetings all day.
I mean, like occasionally, that's the
Yeah,
life.
I like meetings occasionally. Like maybe once a day, and I couldn't do computer all day at all. That would drive me insane. So yeah, just towards the end, see like, do you want to be in an office? Do you want to be outside? Do you want to be in a lab?
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'd never like considered the actual physical environment so much, but I should.
It's something else to think about.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I mind being at a desk for a long period, but
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
good because then a lot of desk jobs make bank.
yeah, anyways, extracurriculars.
Yeah, this got pretty off the rails, but I feel like it was very insightful.
In my mind, it's very related.
For non-podcast reasons, this was just a quality sitting down with a beer.
Yeah, it really was actually. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
See, non-utilitarian social time. It's a good time.
Man, need more of this kind of shit in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Would recommend. I spend a lot of my time, not right now, actually not a lot of my time, some of my time doing it.
How?
Where you just chill. You just
Just chill
chilling,
with people?
just hanging out, doing whatever.
Okay.
It's like you're recording a podcast, but no one's listening.
Yeah, anyways. Extracurriculars. Does it excite you? Do you enjoy it? Does it energize you?
Do you play hockey?
Those are the questions that you need to ask. And if the
Do
answer is
you-
yes, frickin' do it.
Intramurals, man. They're pretty good. Or anything.
If the answer is no, it doesn't energize you, then ask yourself very seriously why you're doing it. Sometimes maybe you have to. but-
Maybe they're paying you.
True. Maybe you need them to get into university. Or I saw one article saying you need some kind of extracurricular things for med school. So I don't.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I'd
some like
imagine so.
leadership and research positions and whatnot. So sometimes you need them, and in that case, do them. But try and make them energize you as much as possible.
There's a lot of knowledge hidden in that.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like it's just a big revelation for me. But I don't know if anybody else is in the same situation and will have their mind blown here. But
Maybe.
there you go.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people who listen to this podcast probably like the idea of it.
Because, yeah, I guess that doesn't even only apply to extracurriculars in school. That applies to the rest of life. Why are you doing the things you're doing?
And so, to everyone listening, goodbye. Have a good week.
Have a good one. We'll see you next time.